Hello, Guardians. It is Ebontis, and today we're going to talk about Enigma Protocol. Now, one of the reasons you may want to do this is because it is one of the few pinnacles that you have control over, and as long as you can get to even the midpoint of this, and once you get practice, it's really not too bad, you're going to actually have a pretty good time getting at least to the first chest, which if you do that 6 times, that's a pinnacle, and that really doesn't take that long. Honestly, with a little bit of practice, you're there pretty easy. Now, I've seen this buff change. It could be Solar and Strand. Currently, I'm running the Arc and Stasis version. There's also a normal and a corrupted version. That's mostly kind of how the traps are going to be set up and also what boss are going to be facing. What seems to be consistent, you've got expert modifiers, you got galvanized, you got forced reboot timer, and of course Enigma protocols. Now, one of the important ones is the code base splice. And you're going to need to do the NES002. It's like side quest that you get from Failsafe. That gives you an extra 30 seconds. Now, when you destroy the security nodes, which I'm going to show all the way through there where each one of them is, and also the archival timekeepers, as those spawn in, they can give you time. And honestly, sometimes the archival timekeepers are worth like waiting a little bit just to get another one to spawn. They have a bit of a timer, but if you can time things right, you might get an extra one. Or if you time things right, you might even not need it, depending on how fast it goes. But your ways to get extra time are the network security nodes. Those are consistent no matter what version you're in. Archival timekeepers on a bit of a timer. If you're fast, you may not need it, but if you can maybe like wait a second for one to spawn in, it might actually be worth your time. The code-based splice, again, at Failsafe. This is week 2 of episode Echoes, Act 1, and that one's going to give you an additional 30 seconds. So when you start, getting that one from Failsafe alone gives you basically a foot ahead, and then everything else as you go. Now, as I said, Stasis and Arc Surge in this one, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I'm currently running a Supremacy with Rewind and Kinetic Trimmers. Backup mag is pretty much what you're going to have on everything anymore. I've got Red Death for kind of a middle range weapon. Way to get some kills, get a little bit of health back. I mostly use this to shoot the nodes. I do a lot of my killing with Chain of Command, and you're probably wondering what the heck I'm doing with that thing. The main reason I'm using this is because it's been as kind of a weird crutch that I've been using for balancing out Transcendence. Now, you might be able to find a better build, better fragments. I've got Courage, Balance, Dawn, Protection, Blessing, and Purpose. Now, I'm on my Hunter since, you guys know I've been running my Hunter since the start. Gunpowder Gamble, Threaded Spectre. That's actually nice to leave them something else to shoot since I'm by myself. Arc Bolt Grenade and Withering Blade, and I'm running the Stasis Super. I may not even use my Super as much as I probably should because there are a couple places where you can get it back fairly easily. There's also a Rally Flag in the middle of this thing, so it's really not too bad. Most of the time just running some damage resistance, because you've got a lot of mix in here. And I'm working on getting pinnacles to level up. You'll notice I'm 2005, 1993 gear, plus 12 power bonus. The activity is 2005. The enemies may be a little bit higher. Gear will make a difference in here, I will tell you that. As I've slowly been working my level up, focusing on pinnacle grinding and things like that nature, the gear is making a difference. Now, if my weapon, for example, was higher level, hopefully I'd be doing more damage. I have footage in here, so I will be able to go back and check at some point, check the pinned comment if I was like, hey, when your weapons are up to like 2,000 instead of, 1993, and you've got every slot up to like max level, and I'm also like max level over here, my effective level's here, but do my weapons do more? That's one of those things I need to check. Bring a piece of armor with you for your heavy weapon. Like, since I'm using a machine gun, it's really important that I have reserves. So I will load in with this thing to start with more, and then I can also switch over to this for the rally flag. And I'm just using Wormhusk Crown to stay alive. I'm not using Celestial Golden Gun build. If you guys want to do that, that's totally fine. It also depends on what buffs are active, because for me, Golden's not even on the board, really, because it's Arc and Stasis Surge, and it still probably is a good thing to use. It's probably still pretty powerful, but just for this build, I was trying something very different. If you see a Solar Surge, and you have a Hunter with you, and you're running with a group, this is probably not going to be overly difficult, but as a solo player on Arc and Stasis on my Hunter that I'm unpracticed on, it's a little bit different. So, I'm going to run in, I'm going to point out each one of the nodes that we're going for, maybe a little quick, but I'll try and point them out. And then as you work through, I'll try and talk us through the entire run. There's a little break in the middle, and we'll see if we can get this thing done on video. Otherwise, we'll do another take. So here we go. All right, so when you actually load into the mission, you've got a little bit. Now, if you make multiple attempts, it will teleport you right back here. You also notice I have the 1 minute 30 second starting time. As of week 2, you should make sure and get that NES 002 quest done to make sure you start in this state. But if you make an attempt and you don't quite succeed, but you'll notice like my transcendence isn't full at all, and if you get rebooted back here and the second time you come in, then you actually might have full transcendence or more, then you might be in better shape. Now, I load in with this one, and if you die, and you think about it, you could switch, and it's going to load you in and reset your ammo, and if you remember to switch, like, as you die, like, come into your inventory and switch on your reserves, you'll actually come back to this instance, like, right here, again with, like, max ammo. But most of this is just going to be a guide for where the nodes are, and then just kind of what to look for. Remember, this is the corrupted version. I will do a separate video for the other one, and that's probably going to be different weapons, different buffs, but here we go. So as you fall in, you're going to have one right in front of you. If this is your first literal attempt loading it for, like, the mission, it may take a second for it to appear. It literally is right here in front of you, so don't miss that one. The double 30 seconds is that code-based one from the vendor. Now, as I come up here, I always have a couple of these guys here. I try and freeze them up. Going to use the machine gun here. Now, you'll see that grenade spot. What I usually like to try and do is I try and throw my grenade, like, really high up there to get a first tag. Because you'll get another grenade right here, and then you'll have your first one right here to the right. So on the grenade node, that's your first time piece. And then over here to your left is the next one. When you see zone security cleared, you're good for a little bit to look for those nodes. Now these walls do move, so just make sure you're kind of aware that you're going to be working around them. Try not to get blasted off on the taken version. Now I'm running Gunpowder Gamble. It's kind of a fun way to clear this little area out. And then as we push forward, I might push on these guys a little bit. You gotta be comfortable just using all of your weapons, your abilities, your ammo, because you're gonna get a chance to refill before the boss. I usually hop over that. Now this is actually a horrible glitch. We'll see if I can get it done. If I'm holding forward as I go through there and jumping, I like have to bump against the ceiling, so this is probably not gonna go very well. I can't do anything until I hit that ceiling. Yep. Well, we'll see how this goes. But I'm guessing this probably isn't going to be a great take. So you have one here, you have one down here, and then since these guys are already occupied, you've got one up here. Now when this node appears, you want to pick up the orb and stand in this little area. If you get a chance, that is. Now the longer you can stand here, the better. Now if things go smooth normally, it's a little nicer, but things are coming for me. Then you can drop the orb and then just wait as things spawn in, work on mowing them down. Now, by the time you run the orb over there, it's going to go away, so you just kind of want to wait for it to cycle around. Now, this is where I'm probably going to get an archival timekeeper, just like that. So my goal at this point is to kill the archival timekeeper since it has spawned in, and then also to pick up the orb and then try and avoid anything else that spawns. If you can crouch and not actually get seen, doesn't seem like that's going to be happening for me. You can get a lot of charge. Even if I die, it's almost worth getting the charge, because when I pick up the orb, it's going to be ready to go. So not the most optimal situation here, but we're still doing reasonable on time. It is fully charged, so I can dunk it in. And then as soon as it's dunked, you can leave. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to hit our platform. This one spawns as you fly in. You can get it as you get closer. I just like to do it there, because it's usually not too bad of a shot. Now, you're going to have a little bit of a mobility buff as you come through this territory. So be aware that your jumps are going to feel a little bit different. The first jump is just going to be a little faster, and it's one of those things that takes a little getting used to. For my hunter, it's the first one's big, and then the other part of my triple's pretty normal. So I do a single jump here. Instead of going over there, I go around this direction, just a little bit more of a direct path. You got a Minotaur here. I'm just going to leave him alone. There's a lot of enemies you are going to skip through some of these areas. Now in this section, same thing here. As I'm flying in, if I can get the shot off, just one less thing. Just walk forward. Don't try and jump on that one. It's a little easier. This is where the mobility kind of comes in. So I'll have like a big jump here, and then I almost might wait for it to go. Yep. It's always like the timing of it is just one of those things to be aware when it drops off to make sure you're not jumping for it. Again, this is just a Minotaur. We're going to skip right over it. You got a precision damage bonus right here. You can use it, but honestly, typically what I do is just because as I'm going through these jumps, I'll go 1, 2, and then as I'm landing, I'm just going to try and let my abilities do its thing. Grab this, you got to have it to go up. You want to look straight up at this point, grab your node, and you're going to see security cleared. Here's where the mobility is a little weird. So it's like a single big jump here. Single big jump here, and I can usually grab it. I'll usually do a double here. Full triple will get me across. And I'm usually pretty good. Now this one, just to be safe, I'll usually fall, tag this. You've still got the mobility, so just judge accordingly. If you're on something like a Titan, you'll be floating for a while. This is always the weird timing. Now if you can single jump here without double jumping, you won't annoy the Minotaur. Which isn't a big deal. I still skip him anyway. Now here is where you're going to have some work to do. So first thing, we're going to grab our node there. You're going to grab the node on top. And then you're going to want to clear this area out with whatever ability you've got. I try and do it there with Gunpowder Gamble. And each one of these guys is going to drop a unstable light. And you just want to throw it in the general direction. The tracking is pretty generous. And if you've got 3 per area to do, if you can be efficient about it, you can do 3, 3, and 3 and get out. Now there's your other node. So if you can kill most of that stuff there, you're going to have these guys up here, which are the ones holding your orbs. I'm going to dodge to get a little health, and now I'm just going to go for the throws. I've got a Minotaur chasing me, so I want to throw this last one and basically bail on him and head back. Now, you're usually about going to have a timekeeper spawning somewhere in this time of about now. Usually as I'm coming across, he's going to be about here. If the timekeeper isn't dead yet, you do want to make sure you take it out, or be aware that's going to spawn on my head right about here. Literally right on top of my head. So timekeeper's nice for the bonus time. Minotaur is still sitting there, but I've got all the nodes to shoot. So I've got 3 here to throw. Pretty quick and easy. Just look for the ones you haven't taken care of yet. Be pointed in the general direction and it will take care of the rest. If you are 9 for 9, you can go ahead and get ready for your exit, which is going to be right over here. Everything will disappear. Portal will... Don't be too close to the portal. It always has a bit of a glitch. And then we're going to go right here. You can tag that one as you fly or as you come in. Good time to reload. You've got some stuff flying through here. Here's another one if you want to hit that. Otherwise, you're going to hit it while you're on a sparrow. But I'll point out where that one is if you need to kind of catch it as you go. Once you come up here, shoot this, and your sparrow section is going to appear down below you. If you do want to get your node, it would be right there. Going to go ahead and go for a drive here. Now, hitting these boosters is not a bad thing. You just got to make sure you're comfortable. That wall you can go through. Any of those like little bricks you can drive through. So if you're looking for the node, it would truly be like right here, which you can hit it if you want to. It's not what I would truly advise, but however you want to get comfortable at sparrowing, that is up to you. So far doing reasonable on time from my previous run. It really comes down to the damage phase on the final boss, and that is just going to take practice. Once you get right here, timer stops. So you've got a chance to catch your breath. You're going to get a little bit of loot, and if you open this chest 6 times, there you go. 7 minutes, do this 6 times. Get a little bit of loot, some engrams, some prisms, some cores. And that's how you get your pinnacle. Now, if you want to go through the remainder of this, there is a rally flag right here. But one thing you want to check as you go through, you've got these little nodes up here, and you can extract the query process from them. I think I've done all of the ones I can, or maybe I have a couple more, but basically check each node. And it's on corrupted, it's on normal, and then the boss. Check each time you get to this room, each of the nodes. I think there's like a total of 9 or 12 of these to collect. I'm working on getting them all. It seems like each time you get to a room, you get to get one of them. So now is a time where I'm going to switch over, max out my reserves again, go for maxing this out. You're going to go through a bit of a traversal section first, but then you are going to get to a fight. So I'm going to try and max things out and be ready. Everything should look pretty good. Everything's reloaded. That's actually not reloaded. See, this is the time. Timer's paused. Take a second. If you got to like phone call, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do. All right, everything looks pretty good. And again, for whatever reason, if you don't think you're comfortable enough, you can reset the instance right here. But my suggestion, keep trying. Every time you're going to get a little bit faster. So let's go forward to the next one. Now, when you get in here, you're going to have a couple of these nodes. One here and one way over here on that wall. You're going to have some ads in front of you here. You're going to have these 2 up top. They're almost easier with something like a sniper. And then at this point, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to grab my machine gun just so I'm ready. Now I'm going to dodge, so I've got a little bit of a distraction there. So you got a wizard down there, wizard up here. Then you got a wizard straight ahead. You got your last timer down here, so that'll be the 3 for this area. I'm going to fall. Well, prime example of... You have a really quick respawn, though, so just be ready to hit that button. If you do have a respawn that you got to do, it's not the end of the world. And again, we're about 3 minutes on this section. We're doing pretty solid. With that extra 30-minute start time and then some practice, this is getting much more achievable as a solo. There's a triumph for this if you're trying to. Here, wait to the end, and whatever jump you've got, you'll probably make the full leap. Now, your time extenders in this room are going to be here, and then you got one up around the corner. But what you want to do in this room, as fast as you can, shoot all these little pink sections to try and get the little nodes to drop from the tree. The other thing you want to do is you want to try and take out the wizards, because for whatever reason their fire is just brutal. Now, the quicker you can shoot these nodes, the more frequently they're going to drop. And again, looking for the wizards up here. And if you can get them to drop, you can actually pick up more than one from like the same little node. Now, you don't want to have them sit on the ground too long. Final time one is in the back of the room up here. Not a bad way to grab a shield if you need it. You'll also be seeing a timekeeper spawning towards the front of the room. But even if you shoot near it, you can probably get it to trigger half the time. And then just as more things spawn, all you're looking to do is just keep changing levels. Grab your nodes as you move around the room. And just keep trying to change the levels so the captains aren't as big of a deal. Notice how I hit that one from underneath. Here's another one. Grab that from under. And again, you don't have to pick them all up, but if you have them waiting for you as you run around in a circle, you get a pretty good run here. I need like 2 more, which I should have one right up here. Then when that's done, it should just be you and the archival timekeeper. So now I just need to kill the timekeeper, get that bonus time. All right, and then we're moving forward. So when you get in here, I'll pull out the pulse rifle. You've got one waiting as you land. I try and aim and tag it right as I fall. This one, hop up here on the ledge. Right down here in front of this, you'll see one right down here. And then there's one more as we go through this early section. It's much easier to hit it early as opposed to turning around to grab it. Stupid little hops to go faster. Still a thing. Alright, so in here, you really want to ride the momentum on your jumps. If it throws you off at an odd angle, just try and correct, land, turn left. There's your third one. You're done with those for this whole traversal section. And then at this point, just watch the blasters. Again, this taken version will mostly want to do that to you. And this one's not too bad. You're going to take this one, and then we're going to take the left-hand side. Just seems to carry my momentum better. These guys you can just skip, so don't worry about them too much. Just keep moving. Slide here. You're going to get your little jumper. And on this one, just pass by the knight. Don't even worry about them. Take the slide down here. And then if you can take the momentum and lean it in this way. So, like, I'm going to try and probably... Oh, barely got it to work. And again, that just takes a little practice to get comfortable with. But once you're good, we're starting the boss room with 330. So, not too shabby. I'm going to get a little bit of ammo. First timer is there. Second one is in the arena, like in the center area. Third one is actually going to be more up top, and I'll show you guys where each one of those are. Now, what I typically do with a sniper rifle is I'm going to pull back here, and I'm just going to find the boss. What in the... That was weird. Like, fell. And the boss is just going to be right here, and I'm just going to start lighting them up. Because I can do this from far away, no risk of injury up close. Those knights are really annoying, so if you can take those out. And if you're far enough back, you should be able to see him. So if he's visible, you should be able to spot him. Just kind of moving back and forth against this wall. He's being a really annoying guy right now. Now, some of those buffs you can pick up over there are precision buffs, which would do more. But I'll use those as I work around the room. So now I'm going to need me some ammo. Should be able to grab a little of that. And then at this point, you got to go find it. But now's a good time to, one, we'll see an archival timekeeper, so we're going to want him dead. Timekeepers are always going to be on your platform. So right here at the start, that's another 30 seconds. The next one is up here, just in the middle. If you get to his area, you're going to find him pretty easy. So here's the point where I'm going to try and go super. Now he's also going to throw, like, bombs at you. The reason I did super is because I could pick up a super buff. So I'm going to try and let my super cook on him for a little while. Now that'll usually get him to move. Now, something like that, if I think I can get ammo, granted I blew half the ammo off the ledge, but you pretty much just have to find where he's at. So is he back in the middle? Is he on a side? Is he on the other side of the arena? He can be in a lot of places. And sometimes it's one of those points where you got to search around to find him. So I'll try and use my abilities to get around a little better. Looking for sniper ammo generally most of the time. He's not in the middle, which means he's definitely on one of the sides. So I'm going to try and grab buffs here. There he is. So I get a shield buff and a precision buff. And he's on this low edge. So now I'm hitting him for 18, 17 instead of 13. So this is going to be a much more better use of my ammo. Now where is he going? I got a timekeeper coming up, so I want to make sure to cook. And then you're just looking for where the boss teleported to. Sometimes he's on a side. Sometimes he's not as far away as you think. He throws the firebomb at you. It's a bigger explosion than you think, so just be careful about it. I do recommend crafting Supremacy, or if you got a good succession, one of those is going to be really nice. Gonna try and dump some ammo in here. Gonna go with the, hopefully, ad clear. Now he's moved again, so I gotta go find him. Also a good time to clear some ads. He's over here. So we're gonna do a little ad clear and look for the knight. Those are gonna be the worst. Fire spitters hurt. Always looking for ammo. I've got super, so this is where I'm gonna toss one of these. Let my super do a little cook. Again, looking for ammo while the super goes, doing its thing. Gonna have a few ads around, trying to take care of a few of those. I'm trying to hope the super does what it needs to do here. Lets me get some ammo. And if he moves, then you'll know. So where did he run to? So he's actually down there. I've got some sniper ammo, so I'm gonna run back to my perch. Get a little freedom here. Then it's just me and him. I do have ammo from the timekeeper, so I gotta know that's there. And again, I've been practicing this. And again, the timekeepers, you're always looking for those. Probably gonna get a teleport pretty soon, so if I can send him out of here and then deal with the timekeeper, that'll be great. Watch the timekeeper will kind of sting a bit. Those fire things hurt a lot more than I feel like they should. Okay, need a bullet. This is why I'm using the machine gun. There's just so many ads in here. Now here's another point. I don't have to worry about the ads in front of me. If I can back off far enough, I can see him over there. Now if that is his final platform to be on, it's gonna be a little rough to finish him there, but I can try. Again, your elevation and your perches here can really be beneficial to get you some vantage points. If he goes all the way in the back, you gotta be careful. Let's see here. Got a few more shots, but I'm doing okay on time. I got a minute 30, so if I gotta go chase him down with a super or some transcendence or something crazy, we will do that. Now you can be a little more aggressive with your heavy, clear out yourself a place to run up to. So now I'm gonna go for transcendence here. My goal is always to try and, if I can get on his platform, get a grenade at his feet, watch for the firebomb. And again, if that's okay, if it doesn't quite, work out too well there, that's fine. I know I've got about a minute to go. I know he's low. I don't have a whole lot of ammo left. I gotta actually get moving. Timekeeper's coming, so now's the point to save my ammo for the timekeeper. Give me another 30 seconds, run up there, grab a little ammo. Looks like I got a little sniper ammo now. So if I can get a shot on him, if I can find where he went to. He's still over there. He's just really far away. This is why for me a sniper seems really crucial in here. Just because of the range. I got 2 shots left. I need to make them count. That was exactly the amount of ammo I needed, but that's kind of how tight this mission can run. We're going to go ahead and go through the portal. I'm going to suggest you shoot one of them as you fall before you get started. So you're going to look ahead for this one. I haven't quite found a good place to shoot the second one yet, so you're going to have to hit it while you drive. Now you can get off your Sparrow if you want to, if you feel like you need the time. Just be careful about that. So we're going to drive on over. We already hit that one, so we're doing okay on time. This is the one. If you miss it and you feel like you need the time, if you can kind of hit it in the air, and if you get relatively close, it's going to give it to you. So now we got about a minute 12. You just got a driving section to get through. Just try and take your time. Try not to smash into anything too much, but don't worry too much about a rush. If you are sitting anywhere near this time, I finished 15 seconds the first time I finished this. A dash to the side will make that landing a little smoother. I'll try and save one of those there. Hold this to the left. Big wide right side, and you are almost to the end. Success coming your way. And that's a wrap. Don't mind the glitch on my cape there, but if you made it all the way through, that is corrupted. So this is going to be my full guide for all the nodes. I'm going to have timestamps where the nodes are kind of in sections so you can see them. And then also just a way to get through. It's also a good way to get yourself some Ascendant Alloy. I'm actually maxed on that, so I need to find a place to spend those. And same thing, check your nodes over here. One of these potentially is going to have some data. I think for Triumphs, if you're going for those, you'll eventually need them all. If you've already got it, not a big deal. And that is a wrap. So let's get back up to orbit and we will finish this up. And just to confirm, to make sure you get your Triumph, you are always looking for 28 nodes. Whether you're with a group or not, 28 nodes is the total from start to finish. When you get to the boss, there will be a total of 26. There's 2 after the boss run. And then, like, as you can see, your best time, your best solo time that I've done. I've been a little bit quicker, I've been a little bit slower, it just kind of depends. But the archival timekeepers, definitely a thing to watch for if you're by yourself or with a group and time is tight. If an encounter, like the major ones, if it's taking a little while, the archival timekeepers will actually help keep things going, and they tend to spawn not so much where you can just have them infinitely, but they are one of those things that really do help in a pinch. Now, you're going to be getting a lot of stuff like Patron of Lost Causes and stuff early in Breach Lights. Hopefully, as we go through the episode, we'll get more. For me, Sniper Rifle worked. I did rewind rounds, kinetic trimmers, if you've got a good succession build. Anything with ammo efficiency is really going to be a good thing. 4 times rewind rounds, whatever it may be. Whatever you want to use for ad clear that you're comfortable with. And again, the higher level of your gear, I don't know if the damage is going to get better. I'm going to have to come in here and test it because at 2005, maybe that is all my Sniper Rifle is going to hit for that 13k since it's a rapid fire frame. But if I get this thing up to 2000 and it hits harder, I'll comment below, so check that as well. Down here, chain of command, probably not the best thing to use, like kind of an inefficient run with that, but it worked. I had my grenade up occasionally and it was helpful. A mix of resistances. We've got loaders for arc and stasis, which could have easily been solar, so I messed that one up. I had arc siphon on. I should have been on stasis siphon because that was more of my ad clear. So this wasn't even like relatively a perfect build. Like one thing, if I'm making orbs, recuperation is going to be beneficial. The stasis surge is nice, but I wasn't picking up so much there. You can really tweak this to be a better run than what I did, but just know trying to get yourself to this like power, whether it's gear or bonus or however you get here, it does make a difference. Like as my level grew, the run got easier and easier. So if you're doing this as a group or solo or however you're doing it, spend a little time, work on those pinnacles. It's going to help. If you guys enjoyed the guide, drop a like below, leave a comment if you got questions, thoughts, builds, whatever it may be. But if I can do this on an unoptimized hunter, hopefully you guys can do it with a lot more ease. And if you're with a group, then there you go. But my goal with this guide is to show you where each one of those yellow nodes are. And then a reminder, make sure you do that quest from Failsafe, the NES 002. That'll start you with an extra 30 seconds as well. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see you soon.